at the
So,
last minute.
so
So
Penta,
Showsni going into his match here.
how do you
Yeah,
feel
what's up?
about Showsni's deck name?
I didn't see his deck name.
Okay,
What did Showsni name his deck there?
Gruel beats.
Gruel beats. Uh,
All right, we see a Ruby Shard from Cleverboy to kick this off. Both players keeping their initial hand.
There's that Shard of Savagery, another wild Ruby, the most popular matchup here. Uh, Also, another Lionel Flynn versus Zared match.
With the second shard for Cleverboy. We see a tunneled troop here. This time we see Reactor Bot from Berkeley.
Which is one of the spiffy alternate art cards.
Alright, so it goes back to Cleverboy. He draws for his turn. He's got some options.
He does have some
Does play the Ruby, doesn't have enough charges yet for Zared.
Yeah, and maybe does he even have like a Crackling Vortex in deck there?
Let's check that for Cleverboy. There are no Crackling Vortexes in the deck.
Yeah, so not really something he was having to be too afraid of there. That Reactor Bot could get some beats in here though, especially we have our own card guard up, right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Trying to minimize the yellow as much as possible.
So here we go. Here's that 3/3 coming in. One charge, all on its own. Sees is enough to make the Reactor Bot at least a little bit scary. And here comes a Gore Master. So now, next turn when we have the Zared power online, Cleverboy's gonna have to make a decision. What does he reduce here? And it looks like he's choosing to just get rid of the Reactor Bot altogether. Had he chose the Gore Master, the Gore Master's attack can't double on charge gain, making it pretty ineffectual until Berkeley has some way to increase its attack base.
So we see the Mentor of the Flames with two tunneled troops from Cleverboy's side. We go back to Berkeley here. Now it looks like he's considering his options.
Yeah, a lot of tunneled troops there. A lot of scary stuff. Looks like targeting some sort of action here. There's that Crackling Sprout. Is this going to be a Crackling Vortex follow-up? It's just a regular charge power-up. Wow, this is 15 damage worth of crush coming through. Even if that Mentor of the Flames gets in the way, the burn won't be enough here. This is probably the last turn the Gore Master's on board. Those have got to be Wakazashi's underground, right?
It would seem pretty likely, yeah. And it's also notable.
Now with that Arena Regular, Cleverboy is close enough to being able to just getting pinged out. Scrap Tech Brawler actually is the first thing that comes up. Dishonorable Death played. Dishonorable Death targeting the Gore Master gets rid of the Inductocopter Bot. The Inductocopter Bot, of course, would have clearly eliminated the board with the Arena regular, and the burn comes down. Berkeley down to 2 cards in hand. His opponent is only on 4 health, and almost all of his resources spent for the turn. Cleverboy swings back in here.
So Berkeley with no troops, but Berkeley has done most of the damage already. But here's a Zakir.
Yeah, there's the game scary guy. Like you cannot be on your laurels where Zakir is concerned. Pretty much the most considerable comeback I can think of here is if Showsni already has one crackling bolt in hand and he draws another, that could be enough to field the board. I mean, he would just kill his opponent here. Up pops Monsoon, who doesn't get anyone back from the grave, but he was there. So no Wakizashi ambushers actually underground there. Maybe just I think he has them in the list. He almost certainly does. But yeah.
Yeah, just from looking at Showsni's list, I think you're right. At this point, it's just double bolt, or else we're going to be going to game 2 here.
There's that flame breath. That's it. That's the end of the game. Had a single crackling bull.
Show us the one.
Yeah, he got halfway there. With the old Heart of Flames available, that would have been enough. But yeah.
Yep. Showsni takes the string down for a second while he's going to reserves. Yeah, I feel like that game, even though Showsni, it really shows the way that this matchup's supposed to play out. What it could have easily gone in Showsni's favor, but I think the way it played out is pretty close to the way that this match should be. You get 1 or 2 big hits from whatever combo it is that you happen to have at the time, whether that's Goremaster with Crackling Sprout or some other combination of cards. And the Blood Ruby deck wants to grind you out a bit with some removal with troops, Zared power, and try to finish it off with a big bomb at the end, possibly like the Zakir that we saw.
Dylan and Woolsarg. Yeah, it was a pretty good comeback there. Not quite as good as 4 Heroic Outlaws.
4 Heroic Outlaws was amazing.
No matter what happens to Future here, definitely the hero of that one game. That there's not much that can be said. So here we go.
That's for sure.
So here we go. They're getting ready to get into game 2. Showsni hopefully choosing to play first here with a Wild Ruby deck. Both players kind of playing something quick though, so again, the being on the play, as long as you get a strong opening hand, is good. Being on the draw really only benefits you in these kind of decks if you.
Just to see the opening hand here.
Yeah.
Without showing it exactly.
Yeah, well, no, he showed it. It was that was a lot of shards. So he keeps his 6, throws down a shard. Cleverboy staying on 7. Again, this is what I'm talking about. That one extra card, especially in a matchup like this, could mean all of the world's difference, especially because Berkeley is likely to consider keeping a 6 that has not the level of shards that he wants, not the highest level of hand quality, because you never really want to go down to 5, especially in Hex where they make you do uh, all of your mulligans before your opponent chooses at all.
Right. So there's definitely enough hands where Berkeley can get there, as long as Cleverboy doesn't have the right removal at the right time.
Yeah. Well, the turn 2 reactor bot's strong. Uh, here's the shard of hatred, so we're probably not seeing anything from Clever this turn unless it's a Cog to Petal's Thirst. Hiccups.
Well, no Cog to Pedal this turn, right?
Isn't Cog 1?
No, it's 2.
Oh, okay. Oh, bad at this game.
We see
We
Arena
said
regular.
Arena regular. Yep. Every time Showsni gains a charge here, he will deal a damage to Cleverboy with that Arena regular, and he chooses to swing in with his 3/3 charge reactor bot there. Early 4 damage. All he needed last time was that 4 damage. So we'll see if it helps him out here. There's the Ruby Shard from Clever. Let's see if he's got a play here. Crackling Rot is choosing to get rid of the Arena regular instead of the Reactor bot. Perhaps has
He's going to get
power
the
in
both.
response.
Yeah.
Best
turn 3 play possible for Cleverboy right there, especially against them.
Yeah, I feel like that was pretty big. And again, remembering that he has card advantage here, he still has 6 cards in hand, whereas even after the draw here shows he's at 4, plays a Stink Troll all alone down on the board. That's really the power of that Zared charge, is if it gets a troop, there's not many charge powers that are worth a whole troop. Lady Elizabeth to some extent, Polonius and Tetsuit. There's that Wakizashi Ambusher. Just played hard from the hand as a 2/1 for 4, not great value until you realize it gives -X to any 2A troop when it comes into play, and it chooses the Stink Troll who dies. The -X, of course, being equivalent to the Wakizashi's attack. So even at base, it's a 2/1 that gives -2, -2.
Yeah, we're seeing multiple 2-for-1s from Cleverboy early on. I feel like it's going to be pretty rough for Berkeley at this point, especially with the mulligan. Here we see another Scrap Tech Brawler into Killipede.
Ooh,
Cleverboy is taking advantage of his start here.
he sure is. Here it comes the Wakizashi Ambusher, the Scrap Tech Brawler, and the Killipede next turn. Since Berkeley didn't, he puts down a Gore Master, and the way those cards flipped over, I think that was the card he drew this turn. That's not a good sign. He's looks like he's stuck on 3. I mean, he has to be able to push extra damage. It doesn't matter. There's the Crackling Bolt. That means the Killipede will get the Toxified in. And now the second Killipede, 2 million legs, maybe a million too many. And the Killipedes are going to walk over, probably crawl into Berkeley's ear, whisper sweet nothings as they inject their poison. It's a really rough matchup here. This is, again, like, these aggressive decks are very strong on the play, but going to 6 can just really brutalize you, especially if you're playing against something like Blood Ruby that has a lot of control and a lot of options here. Yeah, a lot of premium removal.
Yep.
So it looks like he had a Crackling Vortex in hand, so he could have gone to 4 if he needed to. Might have just drawn that. He says it's good games. That'll put him out on the 3rd/4th roster, and he had a Crackling Sprout. So he had Crackling Sprout, and was that enough? He would have had. He would have Crackling.
So he'd have the Gore Master. He'd have the Crackling Vortex first. That would bring
No. He would have Crackling Sprouted first. Would he?
Well, I think he would Vortex first to get the Champion power active.
All right. So if he uses that first, he would go to 4. Then he would go to 9, and then he would go to 11. He would go to 22 with Crush. And
wouldn't it be 4 to 7 from Champion power? And then
4 to 7, yeah, so to 14. Yeah, sorry. So then 9, so we go to 18-3, 18-5. Yeah, which
Right.
wasn't enough. The Killipede could have blocked it still, and
Yeah, it would have
reduced 5.
depended on whether the opponent there was greedy with the attacks or kept enough.
Well, no, he'd already left. He'd played that last Killipede, so there was still a Killipede on the board.
That's true. There would have been Kill P regardless. That's true.